What's up, everybody? I'm Dear Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back with some more Diablo 4, and I am giving you my first end game build for Diablo 4. And this is a little different this time around because Diablo 4 is a game where there's a lot of RNG and randomness to the loot that you get. So I'm not gonna necessarily come out and say this is the best build or ultimate build, but I'm just gonna show this is my build I'm currently working on, and there's some of the methodologies I'm using in the build work for you, then use them as well. Because I realized at first I was like, man, it's gonna be hard for people to mimic builds because it's hard to get specific things. When it comes to uniques, yes, but when it comes to some of the skills, a lot of them come up very frequently based on the drops you get. So believe it or not, some of the builds are kind of easier to follow along. You just gotta grind, especially since Diablo is a game where you're grinding. That's why you play it. That's why I play. I love it. I love the grind. Is what I do in Monster Hunter. So what I'm going to show you today is my build, what I'm using, all the things I'm going to be doing in the future. My family, if you're new, make sure you guys subscribe, give the video a thumbs up as this supports me. Without further ado, let's dive in. So starting off with this build is focused on a couple of things. It's focused on Fury damage, it's focused on Daze damage, it's focused on clearing tier 20. With this build, I can clear Nightmare Dungeon tier 20. You got to pay attention. You will get clapped if you're not paying attention, but 15 from 10 to 15 to 17, no problem. When it gets to 17, 18, 19, 20, you just gotta make sure you're just paying attention to what you're doing. So this build is a shadow build, it is a flurry build, it's also a daze build, and I'll show you some of the things I have to make that happen. So starting off, let's just start off with the skill tree, then we'll do Paragon and work our way backwards. So skill tree, this build is a melee focused build. I know Twisted Blades, everyone says does do more DPS, but I'm determined to make the optimal flurry build. Then we'll move over to Twisted Blade. I feel everybody uses that, so I want to be a little different. So puncture is amazing because one, it gives me vulnerable is important for me because it gives me 20% additional damage. That's where our base skill, and this build is gonna be vulnerable, so that's important. We got the one all level 5 because believe it or not, this skill is actually useful for doing damage for me. Some people get rid of it, but for now I'm gonna keep it. I have one level over here because it gives me vulnerable on every 2 hits, so I can guarantee vulnerable uptime. Moving across, I have my flurry, and also I have that one maxed out. It heals me, and also too gives me, if my enemy is vulnerable and I do flurry, it does vulnerable on the enemies as well. I have rapid fire because of all the arrow skills, I love this one. It's just good damage. I got a aspect for it that makes it ricochet, which I'll show in a second to optimize it. I don't have anything else for it, but this is really my single target killer. When I want to just slam on a boss or a specific enemy, I kind of pull this out, or from range enemy, that's what I use on them. Over here, yes, you need close damage reduction is very important because this build is going to be up close and personal with the enemies, so you want to make sure you can do that. This one, maximum health when you do critical strikes close enemies, it gives you a little bit of health regen when you're fighting. The best way is increase your overall critical chance, but so far I can't show you guys my percentage right now. Moving across, I have dash, just one level of it to make sure I just get in and out. I don't necessarily use dash for damage. I use dash for dazing my enemies with my aspect, and I use it for getting in and out of those moments. So if you guys didn't know, the main grind I finally understand when it comes to Diablo is the Nightmare Dungeon, the higher level dungeons. How can you clear them and make a build that can one solo them? And that's what I'm going to do. I've heard a lot of things when it comes to tier 40, tier 50. Oh my God, rogue cannot do solo any of the higher level ones, but I'm determined to make a rogue that can, because I'm just gonna main rogue, just to let you guys know. I'm not playing any other classes. I focus on what the character I'm currently playing in the moment. So that's gonna be rogue. I don't have anything over here except for this one because we have to. Exploit is too good for healthy and injured enemies to give me additional damage, and this one for vulnerable damage 9%. So you kind of have to get that one. Down here I have my shadow energy. It gives me vulnerable, and also too I got 3 levels of this. I get energy every time I kill an enemy with shadow, allowing me to just continually keep my uptime of my attacks. This one, stun the enemy, sure. 0.5 seconds and 1.5 seconds. Sure, but I rather just focus on getting my energy back and get stunned from other places. Precision imbuement, whenever I get imbue my weapon with shadow, I have a 9% increase for critical strike, which is important because critical strike does more damage, but also if you remember, critical strike gives me an opportunity to heal myself as well. So I want to make sure that I'm doing that to keep myself as topped off in health as possible. I have this ultimate on because I have a unique that's actually amazing that kind of works, synergizes very well with dash. So I can dash out the way, position myself, show them, then I can kind of get in and out of the action with the enemies, which I'll show in a second. I leveled up because these skills, you kind of want to buff them up. The imbuement skill effects applied has more potent and knocks down the enemy, which is good because knock down the enemy gives you a chance to really get in there and boom, 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 and hit my attacks and get out of there. I like this one for maximum energy, increase your movement speed. But when you go below, your attack speed increases. And when I'm with rogue, when I'm attacking, that's when I'm doing the most damage. The faster I can get my attacks out. And if you notice, I'm attacking really fast. It allows me to build up my energy even more, which allows me to go back into my flurry, etc, etc. So when it comes down to my ultimate passive, close quarter combat works very well for a couple of reasons. Because one, when I use my cutthroat, I guess skill, I get a faster attacking speed for 8 seconds. But also, two, attacking bonuses are active. You deal 30% more increased damage against crowd control enemies. So crowd control enemies in this situation is, I use Daze in this build, and Daze is a crowd control effect, meaning I'm doing more damage against those enemies. If I was going to use that one, I'll probably use Victimize to get the enemies to explode. But this one, I can daze them pretty well, except bosses. So I wouldn't work against bosses, but and they're not going to explode either. So it doesn't really matter at all. That's why I'm using this one. Moving on to my Paragon. So my Paragon took a little time for me to figure out how to make all this work. But the two skills I'm utilizing first, I think I'll start with my sockets and work backwards. Is I'm using Closer here. Okay, this one gives me, for every dexterity purchase within the range, cutthroat skills deal 3.7% increased damage. So dexterity, I got boom, 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 boom. And the bonus is, additionally, while wielding melee weapons, you take 10% reduced damage. So I have 40 dexterity, so I get that. And I get my cutthroat skills gain another additional 29.6% damage. So cutthroat skills, how do you know what your skills are? If you go to it, it tells you right there, it's core, imbued, and cutthroat. So that's kind of how you kind of know. So moving up across, I know exploit is the one you want to use, but exploit did not work for me in this situation because I wanted to come down and I wanted to get this, which is vulnerable damage, and I still need to get the more strength to get it up, but vulnerable damage and dexterity. But also too, this thing, what it does is for every dexterity purchase within the range, you deal 1.3 increased physical damage. So with that being said, I currently have 6.6 additional physical damage built on me. As I add more dexterity, I get even stronger. So I still have 1, 2, 3 more dexterities I can get before I keep on moving, which will increase this even more. I'll use exploit on another board that makes more sense. Specialization, I use combo points because combo points works for me because I have a weapon that has a unique on it that allows me to do more damage on my skill, but also I can get instantly my combo points, which I'll show in a second. Combo points, the way it works is when you do 3 basic skill attacks, you get 3 stacks, and every stack you have, you do more damage with your actual core skill that you use. So now let's get to the build. So the build I'm using is pretty juicy. Everything is pretty, I think, sacred at this point. So I'll just start from the top and I'll go across. The helmet, what I'm using on the helmet, I respected to get I got cooldown reduction, so I was like, cool, I kept that. If you notice, for all my sockets, I want to have the topaz on my armor because what it does, it gives you 9% damage reduction while controlled impaired. Meaning whenever I'm stunned, dazed, dizzy, sleepy, hungry, I'm joking, whatever, on the rogue gets affected by all of those, you take less damage. So a lot of times when you're controlled, you realize that you're just getting destroyed. So with that, I have a good defense, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them on my weapon, my armor, which allows me to take less reduction in crowd control. So on here, this imprint I got is Disobedience, and what it does is you gain 0.25 increased armor for 4 seconds when you do any kind of damage. So I hit an enemy, I get more damage, more armor, and more hit the enemy, I get up to 25%. I have another one that's up to 50, but it got expensive, so I'll put that on a later build. But for now, this is the one I'm currently using. Moving down across, this is a dash build. So when I dash into an enemy, I daze them for some time. I got a low roll on it, but it's okay. But they're daze, which allows me to use close quarters on my passive to do even more damage to those enemies. I re-rolled this one, I got damage reduction. You want to get damage reduction on your pants and your legs. Those are the pieces where you can get them on. There's a website online, I think what it is. You go search it. what is it, Diablo 4 affixes, and it tells you what you can roll on each piece of armor. So it's important for you to know what you can get when you're re-rolling your armor. Moving down, I got this one's dope because if I hit a vulnerable enemy with a vulnerable attack, there's a 43% chance it will daze them for 2 seconds. Meaning that's 2 seconds I can destroy them with this damage. Moving across, damage elite enemy gives you a barrier. Cushion is very important in this game for using the rogue because you are squishy, so you want to make sure you're protecting yourself. I have damage reduction, close 14% to close enemies, and I got 6.6 damage reduction to overall just damage reduction in general. And that's a max roll you can get on that one, which is pretty good. I got the max roll on the almost max roll on the first skill tier. With that, whenever I get when I damage the elite enemy, I get a barrier around me which protects me. When elite enemies come around, you're spending most of your time attacking them, and other enemies are ganging up on you, so you're not killing them as fast. So it's important to have that extra cushion. Move down here, my unique boots. These are the chill ones. So when I'm walking around, I create a little chill, I guess, floor behind me. Chills the enemies, so it kind of gives me chill imbued without actually having it. So I had to put that on. That's cool. Moving down here, this is I have rapid fire. I have 87% chance to ricochet hit another one. So this one was good as vulnerable damage. I use a crossbow because you want to use crossbow with a rogue because it gives you vulnerable damage, which is what my base damage is based on as well. Shout out to everybody that's helped me grind yesterday. My boy Dog Toot, appreciate it. Crazy Louis, appreciate it. Everyone, you guys are all amazing. Also too, when it's paused, we have a clan. If you guys want to search and join, it's called Too Smooth to Handle. We're taking everybody in. If you want to come hang out with us, play with us, we're gonna be streaming on Twitch, so you don't want to miss on the action. Come join the action, come hang out with us. So moving across our weapons, so I'll start with this one. This one's good damage, nothing crazy. Well, 16% to chilled enemies. My enemies are chilled because of my unique boots, so that works out as well. Ultimate skill damage is increased because my ultimate is pretty disgusting. The only thing I'll switch out this one is damage to distant enemies, because like I don't need that. So that's that. The imprint I put on it is basic skill gain 27 attack speed. So I'm tack. The faster I'm tacking, the faster I'm building up my energy to do my abilities. Moving across, this one I was talking about, Sacred Unique Dagger. What this one's cool is because what it does is it gives me a core skill damage increase of 28%, but also your basic skill using this weapon has a 30% chance to generate 3 combo points instantly. So if I hit one time, I could generate 3, then use my core skill to do the extra damage. Up here, my rings, I need Flurry to do the ring around me. This one has a decent roll, 11 out of 3. So I mean 10 out of 15, so I'll take it. Other than that, nothing else crazy on this one. Critical strike to enemies and build skills. I do my shadow, 18%, so I get pretty good damage there. Moving up, we have skill damage deal, 90% increase your damage based on your primary resources. So my skills do more damage if I have more energy available to me. So I'd use my Flurry from 100% energy. It will do more damage than using it from 50 or 0 or the bare minimum of 24 energy. And last but not least, this one I got that was pretty cool. This one is, what it does is on my ranged arrows always imbued with all of my imbuements at once. So smoke, I mean it's not smoke, shadow, poison, and chill will be on the actual arrows as they're shooting it and slaying on enemies. Also to that, my non-physical damage increase, ultimate skill increase by 19%, so I got max pull on that one. Critical strike against damage with imbued skills is 17.6, so I got really high on there as well. So this is the build. It's good, it's strong, feels good. If you look at I'll show you all the things on the right hand side if you want to see. There are questions about my offensive and defensive, but yeah, I'm able to comfortably go through Nightmare Dungeons, and we're about to hit 60, meaning we'll have access to ancestral gear. So when that happens, we'll just go crazy. But I have a couple more ideas around builds I want to make before we get the ancestral stuff, so stay tuned to that because I want to do a shadow / poison build, and I got some things I'm going to use. That thing gonna make it very, very juicy and effective. So this is the build. Let me show you guys a couple of runs and what it can do. so you can see what kind of damage you can expect to have. So just starting off, you see the little after image, the little chill path I make on the floor. So the enemies are here going against level 72. Put our shadow on there, we're able to take them down. You see they're all dazed? Look at that. At that point, I'm doing more damage. And if you can see, enemies get dazed a lot. And when they're dazed, I'm just able to just go in there and do some damage on them. Move in. As we do more and more runs and optimize our gear a bit more, we'll start doing like speed runs on dungeons. But if you're not trying to speed run, you're just trying to get through a dungeon, then yeah, absolutely, this thing can make it happen. It's important. See, look, I dash and they daze again. Whenever I daze, I do more damage. I'm fully healed again. So don't be worried. Don't feel like you don't have to heal. Take advantage of all the things available to you. Oh, I'm dazed. I do when I dash. If you get into trouble, we have our ultimate, which I'll show you guys in a second. Oh, out of there. The higher, so essentially I'm at level 59, there's 72, so they're a good amount of levels above me. What is that, 17 levels above me? So they're gonna hit hard. This dude's dazed, not gonna hit me, he's not hitting regardless. This is locked. So this is a good opportunity right here. Let me let everyone get in here. Oh, come on, give me a bigger crowd. Get my elixirs. This is kind of a small crowd than what I would want to use my ultimate. See, right in that situation right there, that's where it was important. I'll use my ultimate right here. Look at that. It was important for me to get all that crowd control defense on me for that moment right there. Because while I was stunned, I was still able to not die against enemies that are 17 levels above me based on having that skill on my side. Okay, we're at the boss now. The skill's gone. Woo! Get out of there if we need to. Move it. Good, get the stun on him. Woo! Nice little run. Don't get too crazy. Move out the way. Where is he? Move. Move. Get the little guys out. Woo. Oh, we missed him. Watch out. Let's go, baby. No problem. No problem. And just like that, we did a Nightmare Dungeon number 19. Got a little crazy. It got crazy, but we're making it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Like this video, give it a thumbs up. Till next time, dear gamer, signing out.